Imagine being violently pushed away from what you've always considered your own backyard. That's the shocking reality facing Filipino fishermen right now in the contested waters of the South China Sea. Fresh tensions erupted dramatically this past Sunday as Philippine and Chinese authorities exchanged heated accusations following a dangerous maritime confrontation near the disputed Spratly Islands. The incident represents yet another worrying escalation in this resource-rich waterway, where multiple nations have competing territorial claims. Here's what happened according to Manila's account. Early Sunday morning, 3 Philippine government vessels were peacefully anchored near Thitu Island, known locally as Pag-asa Island, as part of an official program to protect local fishermen. Suddenly, Chinese ships approached and began using powerful water cannons in what the Philippines described as clear intimidation tactics. But here's where it gets controversial. Just 1 hour later, the situation turned even more dangerous. A Chinese Coast Guard vessel allegedly targeted a Philippine Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources ship called the BRP Datu Pagbuaya, firing water cannons directly at it before deliberately ramming its stern. While the Philippine Coast Guard reported only minor damage and no injuries, they characterized these actions as a clear threat to their sovereignty. Now, here's the other side of the story that China wants you to hear. And this is the part most people miss when they only read one perspective. Beijing's Coast Guard tells a completely different narrative, asserting that 2 Philippine government vessels had illegally entered waters near Sandy Cay, a coral reef within the northern Thitu reefs. They claim a Philippine vessel dangerously approached a Chinese Coast Guard ship, making Manila responsible for any consequences. This conflicting testimony highlights the fundamental problem in these disputes. Both sides genuinely believe they're in the right, operating under completely different interpretations of maritime law and territorial boundaries. Despite the confrontation, Philippine authorities have defiantly vowed to continue their operations in the area, emphasizing their commitment to protecting the livelihoods of Filipino fishermen who depend on these waters. This isn't just about national pride, it's about real people trying to feed their families. The Spratly Islands have been a recurring flashpoint for years, but tensions have noticeably intensified recently, particularly around Scarborough Shoal and other contested regions. And here's what makes this situation so complex. China claims nearly the entire South China Sea under its controversial 9-line doctrine, while Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines and Vietnam all assert overlapping claims to portions of the same strategic waterway. Think about this for a moment. We're talking about a maritime region that facilitates over $3 trillion in annual shipborne commerce. That's trillion with a T. This isn't just a regional dispute. It's a global economic artery where any serious conflict could ripple through the world economy. So here's a question worth debating. When nations have fundamentally different interpretations of international law and maritime boundaries, how should these conflicts be resolved? Is assertive patrolling to protect fishing rights justified? Or does it unnecessarily provoke tensions? We'd genuinely love to hear your perspective in the comments. Do you think one side bears greater responsibility for escalating these tensions? Or is this simply the messy reality of unresolved territorial disputes?